How about that when they mess with you? Nah, you're not doing that to yo. Nah, what's good? So it was making those connections. You know what I'm saying? I won't call them friendships because I don't think you have friends in jail. You have associates. You have to form these allegiances and these alliances.
Just while you there, just
Yeah.
survival.
So
purposes.
I'm running with New York dudes, and it's because we behind enemy lines. It's a little of us, so we have to click up.
Right.
Just like West run with West, Cherry Hill run with Cherry Hill, East run with East.
East side.
And that's how it be.
East side.
You know what I'm saying? It's a rare Baltimore dude that goes through
All those circles, yeah.
So with that being said, like, so that when you cooking up with New York dudes, you know what I'm saying? I might not even like you, but I gotta hold you down. Because if I let them get you today, it's me tomorrow. Right. And we not getting to me.
Yeah.
We gonna deal with this right now. So a dude might come up to me and say, yo, New York, what's up with your man? And I gotta answer this as hard as possible.
Okay.
Because he's asking me, can he get at my man? Subconsciously, this is what's up with your man? Like, how cool are you?
Right.
What you mean what's up with my man?
Yeah, he's testing it.
I gotta say that. What you mean? Oh, nah. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, check them.
Yeah, leave that alone. Yeah, like, nah, because they try to pick you apart one by one. Pew, pew.
So I read in the bio that you actually started writing. Oh, that's when you
I
started.
started writing, not in Hagerstown, no, it was another bid. I did 3 bids. So in my last bid, I come to the conclusion that this wasn't it for me. God didn't put me here to be the biggest drug dealer. It wasn't my destiny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People would say humble, you get knocked on the humble. It was just, I wasn't supposed to be doing what I was doing in the first place. So maybe I was. Where I was at, I was there, supposed to be there for a reason, even if it was jail. Jail saved my life, actually. If you really want to get
I got a question for that. Really.
Yeah, saved my life.
Jail.
A lot of people died while I was in jail. It might have died because I was with them. Jail saved people's life.
That's one of the questions I want to ask, because I wanted to know if jail was a blessing rather than a curse for you.
Definitely was a blessing for me. You know, I would lie to my mom. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a good boy when I get out. Right back at it, like I never said that shit. Me and my man were just talking about that. Like we forget the times, the hardships we experienced in jail. Because dudes cry in the dark. Wet pillows in jail. People cry in the dark, man. So you know, because you don't want nobody trying you.
Yeah.
But some shit just get to you that, like, my first bid, my girl had a baby on me. The girl I thought I would have kids with.
Wow.
She had a baby on me. You talk about sick?
Wow.
You talk about sick? Man, I used to be in the yard looking up at the sky and seeing her face in the clouds. I'm like, yo. Couldn't even, yo. That's why I be telling people, I said, yo, pain is good. When you come out of that dark space, you're going to laugh. It ain't funny while you're going through it.
Yeah.
But after that, you're like, I can't believe I was doing that shit. So, yeah, man, you know, like I said, man, jail saved my life, man. And the last time, I decided to not serve time, but let time serve me.
So that's when you started writing the last bit.
I met a kid.
Okay.
I was at that point. I'm done with the streets. To myself, you can't. If you lie to yourself, you're a bad mother. You're a dangerous motherfucker.
Because you can't hide from yourself.
So boom, I met this kid and I was just talking to him. And talking to him, I knew I was more intelligent than he was. I had lived longer. I had done more things. I had saw more things. And when I ran the streets with older dudes. I was telling them earlier, it was an apprenticeship when I was in the streets. You couldn't just come out. I don't give a fuck what your block you did all your life. You had to be stamped. Almost like a mob type of thing. Like you had to. You know, like, niggas had to know that you wasn't telling. Because if niggas thought, you know, murder is like, I know things, and if people thought that I was going to tell, I might come around that corner and never come back. Because ain't no statute of limitations on murder. They coming to get old men, as you see.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So, with that being said, you just couldn't come outside, man. You had to be, somebody co-signed you, then they see how you moving, or shorty a cool, he keep his mouth shut, you know what I'm saying? You know, the worst thing you could be in my neighborhood was a snitch. When I was growing up,
I think even to this day.
people snitched, and they was never to be seen again. They went down south and started a new life. Not no more. They come right back to the block and dare you to say something about that shit.
Right. Yeah. Some of them got backups as well too. The feds.
Yeah, some of them are tough snitches now. Don't get me wrong. They're killer snitches and all that type of stuff. It's a different
Killer snitch.
It's a different type of snitch. It's like a killer clown.
Guys, yeah.
So
Killer.
I met the kid,
Killer,
and I
yeah.
just thought I was more intelligent than him too. But it's all about figuring out what he knew that I didn't know, and that was something. He wrote 3 books. I said, if he could write 3, can write one. And that was just my aim. Girlfriend left me. Dog bit me. Nobody was writing me. So Be More Careful became a long letter to myself.
Damn.
I just had nothing but, I had clarity. It was the most clearest in my mind that I ever had. That bit. I ain't have nothing, I ain't nobody to lie to, nobody to lie to me. It's just clarity. And so, like I said, I read the book called Donald Goines' Black Girl Lost. So when I read that book, I said, I'm going to make me a 1995 Black Girl Lost. I'm going to tell them what's happening now. Because my father used to say, you think you doing something so slick, but I seen this, he seen it before. He seen crack, he saw it in dope. The dope in the 60s. So there's nothing new underneath the sun. It's just your perception of it and how you tell it. And that's what makes me, and you. How I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell them, we can see an accident the same, but have two different versions of the story. And that was me, man. I thought I was very opinionated. People at once told me, you kind of, you wise beyond your years, Shannon, you know what I'm saying? But I was never accused of being smart, though.
Yeah.
Nobody said, hey, man, you're gonna be on Wall Street one day. Nobody ever told me that. You know what I'm saying? So I just, just wanted to do something constructive with my time. And it became a book and just figuring it out. And so in the course of me doing this, I'm trying to share my good news with other prisoners. Man, that was the worst thing I could do.
Yeah.
They tried to crush me. They told me
blessings, man.
They said, you writing a book? Oh yeah? We're gonna have a book signing right over this garbage can, and we're gonna throw it in that garbage can. And they all laughed in my face. And I laughed too. I laughed to keep from crying.
Oh man.
It was different.
Damn.
So I could afford them. I couldn't beat all of them, no, I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't beat all of them, but I look like a sucker. You're like, you a girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? They tell you in jail, we deal with men, not with feelings. That's what older inmates will tell you. Take them feelings and throw them over the gate, let the guard shoot at them. We don't deal with feelings here. So I had to channel that, and I took it to the cell and just started writing the book.
Wow.
And the rest, as they say, like, when I got it past them dudes, it was this one kid. Me and this guy used to go to the library every day. This kid from North Philly named Rashid. No, was he from South Philly? West Philly, 52nd Street, I believe it was. So we wasn't really friends, because like I said, you don't have friends in jail, but we were cool, hey. Man,
Say what's
what's
up.
up? Yeah, just like that.
The space, yeah.
Yo, or we would exchange books, because he was a reader, I was a reader, so we would consume these books. Every day, me and him basically going to the library. And so I said to him one day, I said, I got something I want you to read. He said, okay, bring it down to my cell. I brought it down to his cell. The next morning, he comes running up to my cell. He says to me, this is what things changed for me. He said, yo, Shannon, you can get a couple hours with this. I said, what? He thinks this about me? And he's not my friend? Yo, I swear to God, a cash register went over my head. Ching, ching, ching.
And that's
it wasn't my intention.
Right.
But he was giving me the truth.
So you wasn't writing just to actually publish it, thinking like when you get out.
I don't even know what I was doing.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was doing. But I knew what I was doing, if you understand what I'm saying.
I see what you mean.
Like, a lot of that stuff I made up as I went along. I didn't have an outline. I didn't know about outlines and query letters and synopsis. I didn't know about none of that. I found out later. But they would later tell me, like, what you were doing was right. So I would go to bed, but the headaches would be more careful. How the fuck I'm going to get her out of this?
Wow.
Realistically. And then I would wake up and like, yo, I got it. I got it. So I would always be writing stuff down on little pieces of paper, and what they call this, what they say when you put positive thoughts in there, affirmations.
Affirmations, yeah.
So I would sit on my bunk every day and sign a yellow tablet, Shannon Holmes. My name, the way I watched my father sign checks. Big S.
You see what you was doing?
Big H.
Yeah.
Said I'm going to be famous one day.
You threw it in the air.
I'm going to be famous one day.
Right.
But not only did I do that, I worked towards it. I was one of them. It was dudes in jail that could write circles around me. They were just that talented.
Right.
But talented people are the most laziest people you're ever going to meet on the face of this earth. Because they know they could turn it on and off at the drop of a dime.
Right. But you was working harder than that.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Yeah.
So when I worked them, you know what I'm saying, everybody was like, and I signed my deal from jail.
Wow.
Got commissary. I got a $5,000 check in jail.
Hold up.
I never knew
No,
that.
25,
So
2500.
look,
Hold up.
so
I
hold
never
up.
knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's major.
That's
I didn't
dope.
know that.
So
That is major.
I'm gonna
so
tell you how I did that. Gave my father power of attorney. Went to the prison
oh,
library.
that's smart.
Gave my father power of attorney. He signed the contract for me.
Yeah, with your, yeah. So you blessed off on that power of attorney is definitely something that's necessary,
Yeah.
and you definitely want to have that in play. And in the military, when you do that, you know all about power of attorney.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you real quick. So you was writing everything while you was still there, because I know you mentioned 1995 is when you started writing. Okay, 95, because that book.
It might not have been that the bid started in 95. I ain't start
the bid. So you
writing
didn't
till
start
like,
writing 95.
till like 80, 88, 80, 98, 99.
Okay, so it took you, I guess,
6 months. 9 months.
to write the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And and before I bring my other host in here, so I definitely want to ask this question, right? When did it hit you that was a hit? Like that I mean, you had you already
that's
had the
easy.
confirmation. You had the confirmation from your cellmate or whatever, not your cellmate, but you know what I'm saying, your associate when you was locked up. But when you hit that peak,
Okay.
how did it feel?
Let me tell you a funny story. I got it from the jail. When the jails told me, I knew I had it. It was nothing nobody outside the jail can tell me. Because the most mean, vicious people are in jail. They do like nothing to tear me down. And when they couldn't, I knew I had a winner. That's what gave me the confidence to reach out. So I can remember my publisher, Terry Wood, saying to me, she was like, yo, I can't keep paying for Be More Careful with True to the Game money. But when that shit hit the shelves, that shit took on a life of its own.
Wow.
A life.
How did you feel?
Wow.
Like, how did you feel knowing that?
Man, like, to go and
That's a breaking point.
get the car that you want, money's not an
But
object.
but hold up, because when you was hustling, what's the difference? Because you was getting money when you was hustling.
Not like that. Not like that, my guy.
It was just cleaner. That's what it is.
not like that.
Not like
I wasn't seeing hundreds of thousands hustling.
Oh.
No.
I wasn't the man.
It was
So
The man behind the man behind the man. But I always say, like, you to be a good boss, you have to be a good worker.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I
A
just
lot
want
of in the street, a lot of bosses are not trying to let you ascend anyway.
Okay, so I see. All right,
You
so
can get big, but not bigger than them.
Yeah, that's
all right, so what did you? So once you got that, illustrious publishing deal, and then the money.
No, that didn't come. The money came first.
the money. Oh, that's even better.
Money came first. And then at that time, I started getting phone calls from publishing houses. Like, I'm like, yo, how did you get my number? They're like, you in the phone book. So Penguin Putnam calling my phone, and it got crazy. Like, I got agents calling me, hey, we want you. I said, yo, I'm not signing with an agent, but when I do, I'll sign with you. Kept my word, but these people are unscrupulous. They don't keep their word.
You never worked a 9 to 5. Like, have you ever? You did a 9 to 5 before all of that. Okay.
But not nothing crazy, not a career trajectory.
Right.
I'm staying in the company. Nah, none of that shit. Did what I had to do to get what I had to get. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I work, but not very many.
Okay.
Yeah, like I ain't got no SSI coming, bro. Pick my own SSI.
Yeah.
I'm being real.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm just trying to pick up the whole. Okay, so you have that deal, the whole $5,000.
Okay. Let me get back to
I
that.
want you to get back.
So then Simon and Schuster comes calling. Simon, if anything ain't who Simon and Schuster is, they are a publishing giant.
Oh yeah, in New York.
Old money.
Yeah, headquarters in New York.
Old, Avenue of the Americas. Yeah, 6th Avenue, So they came calling, and it was a disagreement with my publisher, and like, that's what I want to say. Because when we that's what underneath the bridge. I don't want to, rehash old wounds and say whatever happened. But I signed with them because I just felt like this. It was like Kobe and Shaq. She was Shaq. I was Kobe. I was the new kid on the block.
Okay.
She was the established star. So I had to defer to her a lot. So the calls were coming from me to her office, and depending upon how she felt about me that day, she would either pass them to me or not, depending on how she felt. So I said, yo, everybody was always saying that, it was Terry and Shannon, that she wrote my book. So I had to get away I had to go to a new team.
Really?
I had to go to a new team.
Wow.
And I kept hearing those rumors, and oh, like you're not gonna do it. Like I'm like, yo, and I told her, I said, yo, you didn't even discover me. I discovered you.
Right.
You didn't know I existed. I knew you existed.
Right.
You didn't write to me. I wrote to you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I felt confident. Basically, I was saying I was already made before you got me. You did not make me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was willing to take my talents to Miami to prove it. So I went to Simon & Schuster, where it was a different way of doing things. It was a professional. Not to say she did things professionally, but when you self-publish, when you Rockefeller, you making things up as you go along. Because maybe 9 times out of 10 you don't know. Now you don't know, but by the time you get to Cameron, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was her first artist over there. It was me. She had the top 2 books. She got 2 classics, mine and hers.
Wow.
True to the game, be more careful, coach whenever. When you think about that culture,
Ooh.
that urban culture, that's
Yeah.
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my idols became my rivals. I lived that shit. That wasn't a song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm going, like people are like, they saying things about me. I'm like, and we come from those environments where you feel me, you fight.
Yeah.
That's the environment I was coming from.
I was definitely getting ready to ask you that. So now that you was going over to the whole different side of it being structure. So I'm going to say structure, right? Because they'll tell you I'm real big on that now. But also being born and raised in Baltimore. My thing to you to ask is, how did you change your mindset from going to that? Because for other people who may be going through something like that now and when they are transitioning to other teams, right? People run their mouth a lot, and this business is very, very dirty.
Yeah.
Very, very dirty. And if you from the streets, because I was listening to you, I was hearing you, I read your book, I know, and from another author to another. My question to you is, how did you handle that transition?
Well, I was never groomed for success to begin with. So being around my former publisher, I learned more what not to do. And sometimes knowing what not to do is just as important as what to do.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Message.
you gotta pick up stuff. You gotta pick it up as you go.
Yeah.
So I didn't have media training. I learned. I wasn't like set up on but that's not enough to get, because maybe she didn't know.
That's true.
Maybe she didn't know. She's a little rough around the edges too. So when I got there, it was a different way of doing it. So I would go in, I'll give you an example. This is when I just blew my mind. Go into the office, right? I see Walter Mosley, I see Wendy Williams, and I see Shannon Holmes.
Wow.
I was like, yo, God, how did I get here?
Wow.
That was just one of them mind-blowing moments for me.
Wendy Williams is there as well.
Walter Mosley's a literary
Yeah.
giant.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm like, damn, Shannon Holmes, you on the production schedule? I'm looking at the board with my name on it, in my book on it.
Right next to it.
I'm like, I'm sandwiched in between them.
Yeah.
She's dropping, I'm dropping, he's dropping. It's crazy. So they put a machine behind you.
Okay.
So now I'm dealing with everything is in-house. And I came over there with a little arrogance, a little bit of swagger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yo,
As you should have. Yeah.
I had a black editor. Her name is Malika Adero. She lit into my ass like
Good.
my mother.
Good.
She closed the blue. I don't know what you thinking. Blah, 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 blah. Yo, long story short, I love that lady so much that I named my daughter after her. I said,
wow.
if I have
Now
another
that's
daughter,
a blessing.
I'm naming my daughter's name
That's
is
a
Malika
blessing.
Holmes. Her name is Malika Adero.
Oh man.
That's a blessing.
But we became friends after that because I didn't know, like I said, we come from environments where, yo, you offend me, we fight. What? This is jail. Like, I'm on some jail shit with civilians. Like, what you say?
So it took someone to humble you to make sure to realize.
Yeah, I
you
got
can't
humble,
move
but
like
you
that.
still have to be ready to throw your hands in my world, though. You know what I'm saying? You still got to be ready.
But you're no longer in that world.
Yeah,
So how
exactly,
did you start
but,
to use your brain
but
power?
you know, it's funny thing. I was no longer in that world professionally.
But your
in the
mindset.
streets, I was still hanging with the same dudes, being in the same places. I remember one time I'm fighting this dude in the street, and this girl comes running up to me. This is one of my lowest points in my life. She says to me, "Do you know who you are?"
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You know how bad
Now,
that
if
shit
that
hurt
ain't
me?
a message,
Yeah.
if that ain't a
She
message.
said, "Do you know who you are?" And then my ex-wife, she used to say this to me. She said, "Yo, Shannon, when they do something, it's nothing. When you do something, it's everything."
It's everything.
I got the name now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kid that was in the background came to the forefront.